Can the Mavericks bounce back after their loss on the road last night to the Thunder as they take on the Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets? We'll get you ready for tonight's game coming up next on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Welcome to the DLLS Mavs pregame show powered by Michelob Ultra. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's a superior smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the NBA. Kevin Gray alongside our DLLS Mavs analyst, Bobby Corella. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, covering your favorite team, especially when they play on the second night of a back-to-back against their hated rival, Houston Rockets. An I-45 matchup at the American Airlines Center tonight. We'll get you ready for tonight's action over the course of the next half hour. Let you know who's in, who's out. We'll focus in on our Mavericks player spotlight and also be welcome in our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. live from the AAC on this a little bit of a chilly Saturday night as the Mavericks play on the second night of a back-to-back. Bobby, what's going on?
Is it really cold outside?
It's a little chilly, a little wind in the air a little bit. So it's definitely hoodie season.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. As you wear the comfortable T-shirt inside the studio.
Well, I mean, the heat's on.
I know. I'm just joking. How we feeling? We good?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cozy.
Feeling cozy?
Yeah. It's definitely hoodie season, but more importantly, it's sweatpants season. I don't really wear sweatpants in public very often, but around the house, sweatpants only.
For sure. You definitely want to be comfortable inside the house. I got Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Appreciate you, sir, hanging out with us here on this Saturday night. Yes, our Christmas tree is very festive behind us. Shout out to the Christmas tree. King noticing the...
Shout out to the Christmas tree.
That's right. They was like, nice Christmas tree. King was like, nice Christmas tree. So
thank you.
Shout out to the Christmas tree that's sitting here behind us. Let's get you ready for tonight's action between your Mavericks and the Houston Rockets as the Mavericks, of course, come into tonight's game 8-16 on the season after their first 24 games, 5-9 so far at the AAC. If you're going to be watching tonight's game, you can do so on KFAA Channel 29 as they take on a Rockets team who have won 15 of their first 20 games to start the season, 8-3 so far away from Toyota Center in Houston. The Rockets tonight a 7.5-point favorite with the over-under at 222.5 if you're keeping track. Let's get you set up where both of these teams are coming into tonight. Mavericks 12th in the Western Conference, sitting a game and a half behind the Portland Trailblazers for the 10th seed as the Mavericks, of course, coming off what was their blowout loss last night on the road in OKC, 132-111. Now 4-11 so far against the Western Conference this year, dropping to 3-10 against teams 500 or better so far this season as well. Of course, the Mavericks on the second night of a road home back-to-back as they take on this Houston Rockets team. In fact, the Mavericks after tonight, check this out, will not have their next game until Friday when they welcome in the Brooklyn Nets. So the Mavericks are going to get some time off. Obviously, the NBA Cup and the knockout round, semifinal, and final will be coming up here in the next several days. So the Mavericks are going to have a little bit of a break after tonight's game, and they won't play again until Friday against the Brooklyn Nets. Meanwhile, Rockets second in the Western Conference at 5.5 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder for the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They're coming off a blowout win at home last night over the Phoenix Suns in what was a 117-98 win to get their 5th win in their last 6 games. In fact, Houston 8-4 so far against the West this year, 9-1 against teams below 500 this season. They are also on the second night of a back-to-back are the Houston Rockets as they play the Dallas Mavericks tonight. In fact, Houston begins a stretch tonight where they will play 7 of their next 8 games on the road, including a 6-game road trip that will begin on December the 15th in Denver when they take on Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. That gets you the lay of the land of both of these teams coming into tonight's game. And the Corellustrator, what is he scouting reporting on tonight as the Houston Rockets come into town?
Yeah, so no Şengün tonight, which really changes a lot that the Rockets do offensively, and also changes their shape defensively. Now, it's going to be big for big, like-size replacement for him, but this season, whenever he's been on the floor, the Rockets are good no matter what, okay? But they're plus 10-ish net rating whenever he's on the floor, which is very good, okay? It's very good. That would be top 2 or top 3 in the league. They're plus 19 per 100 possessions without him, which is
wow.
I mean, that's better than the Thunder, you know? And so I was trying to think of like why that is. And sometimes it's just, okay, he hasn't been off the floor that much. And so you just get hot, make 5 shots in a row, boom, you're going to look way better. But some of the trends whenever he's been off the floor, they take fewer threes, okay? But they make them way more often. They also shoot way worse on twos without him. And so it's weird because they're basically replacing a lot of threes that they would get because he is like this very classic like Chris Webber, Jokic style elbow, high post, forward, center guy. He's stepping out to the three-point line a little bit more this year, but he's a guy that you can flow all of your offense through, this hub style player that the Mavs want AD to be, for example. But you know, whenever he's playing that far out, it's really tough to switch. So you're tempted to maybe drop or double team or whatever. You're just going to give up a lot of open jumpers. Without him, they have to work a lot harder. But the way that they overcome that is just by playing way faster. Their pace is pretty significantly higher without him than it is with him. And if you think about why that could be, well, it's, you know, sometimes it is going to be Capella's going to play minutes. Sometimes it's going to be Tari Eason's going to play a ton of minutes. Now Tari Eason's out tonight. But the Rockets have a lot of athletes coming off their bench. And so, you know, Şengün is one of their slower players. Whenever he's out of the game, they're just going to play really fast, which on the second night of a back-to-back could be tough. But with or without him, they still score really well. Without him, they defend a little better, but they do allow a lot more free throws. Again, more athletes, you're probably getting a little more physical. You're jumping, you're contesting, you're gambling a little bit more. So I'm curious to see if the Mavs are able to force their way to the free throw line, or if, you know, they're just going to be overwhelmed by Houston's length. But either way, I think it's going to be a really, really tough game for Dallas.
Of course, they're taking on a Rockets team that is one of the best defenses in the league. In fact, number 2 in defensive rating. More on that here in just a second. Let's get you the lead story going into tonight's game. And, of course, it's the Mavericks looking to bounce back after what was a dismal performance last night. As we mentioned, a 21-point beatdown at the hands of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dallas, of course, playing by far their toughest back-to-back of the season, playing the top 2 defenses in the league, of course, with Oklahoma City last night and the Houston Rockets tonight, as Kevin Durant and company come into town. Rockets are hot right now, having won 5 of their last 6 games as well, as they are obviously 10 games above 500 through their first 20 games of the season. So the question is, Bobby, the offense was hard to come by last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're taking on a team in Houston who does it a little bit differently defensively, but at the same time have been very effective in their first 20 games so far this year.
They're really big. Whoa, it looked like it got so shadowy in here, right? What happened? Oh, now we're back.
Now we're back.
What is going on in here?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's so strange. Tanner's perplexed, but they're really big and they're really athletic. You know, KD's 7 feet. Like and he's like their second shortest guy sometimes. Like they're just so freaking big and long, and they get up and down the floor, and it's really, really tough to drive past them or finish over them at the rim. So it's going to be tough. You know, OKC by comparison is very small. It's still very tough to get past them because they're so good with their hands. You know, Houston is a little different, but I mean, these are the 2 best defenses in the NBA. These are the 2 best point differential teams in the NBA. And Houston's offense is even better than OKC's, and that's the case with or without Şengün. So they don't make back-to-backs much tougher than this in the league.
No, for sure.
Considering that it's like a 35-minute flight to OKC, and you know you didn't lose an hour to a time zone change, but it was a late game last night, and it's a normal time tip tonight, so it's only 23 hours between those games. Not easy.
And the Mavericks didn't land back in Dallas until 3 a.m. this morning. So
why?
I don't know, but that's what I was told prior to tonight's games, that they didn't land back in Dallas until 3 a.m.
That should not be the case. Something happened
this morning. So running on a little sleep and a little rest, as they, of course, played last night in OKC and play at 7:30.
What time? The game last night was 8:30, right? So it's 8:50. Ended around 11:15. What time is our postgame show?
We got done last night with our postgame show.
It was 11:15 postgame, right?
Yeah, we finished at like 12:50.
Yeah, so they probably got to the airport around midnight. There's no way they should have landed at 3. There was some sort of delay.
It must have been, but we'll see what they do tonight on that little bit of rest, because they're taking on a guy, Kevin Durant, who's playing terrific basketball so far this year. In fact, last night surpassed the 31,000-point mark for his career, did Kevin Durant, as he's averaging over 25 points per game while shooting over 50% from the field so far this year. Meanwhile, defensively, they're going to be led by a budding star in Klay Thompson, who's averaging over 17 points per game, nearly 18 points per game, and giving you 7.1 rebounds and nearly a steal and a half per contest so far this year. The Mavericks going to be led, of course, by Anthony Davis, who is playing on the second night of a back-to-back after bumping knees with Chet Holmgren, was able to come back in, get his 2 points, and then go sit down for the rest of the evening. He is playing tonight, averaging 18.6 points per game and 10.4 rebounds. Of course, Cooper Flagg averaging over 17 points per game, giving 6.4 boards in 23 games so far this year. The statistical profile of this Rockets team is pretty damn good. Number 2 in defensive rating, number 4 in offensive rating, which overall gets them the number 2 net rating in the league, only behind, of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 4 in points per game, number 5 in field goal percentage. They're also number 2 in three-point percentage. They're only one of 2 teams in the league shooting over 40% from three, of the other team being Bobby's Milwaukee Bucks so far this year. They also are the number 1 rebounding team in the association, grabbing over 49 boards per contest, are the Houston Rockets. They're playing the second of 4 regular season matchups against your Dallas Mavericks tonight. Of course, they played back on what was in Houston in their first meeting in a 110-102 loss. Klay Thompson had 27 points in the victory. PJ Washington, who is available and good to go tonight after missing the last 4 games with that right ankle sprain, had 29 points in the losing effort. These 2 teams will see each other again on January 3rd, right back here in Dallas. Before we get to our DLLS Mavs beat writer, Ron Harrod Jr., we'll let you know how you can win some money tonight with Prize Picks with our guy Bobby Carell.
That's right. So Clint Capella in the starting lineup, according to Ime Udoka. Now, I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but I do know that the Mavs might miss some shots, and he's going to get a lot of rebounds. So I took Clint Capella for more than 7.5 boards. Najee Marshall,
the knife.
He's just a pretty solid player.
Yeah.
He's consistent. I got Najee for more than 10.5 points. And then, as much as it pains me to say this, all right, let's make sure Tim Cato is not watching the stream. Reed Shepherd.
It is a Reed Shepherd night for Tim Cato, isn't it?
More than 8.5 points. So that $5 play would net me $15.
Okay.
If you want to play along, download the Prize Picks app today, create a new account, and use promo code DLLS whenever you make your first $5 play, and your account will be blessed with $50 in free plays to use anytime you like, and you can get rich like Tim Cato and Reed Shepherd.
Oh, wow.
And you can just never shut up about Reed Shepherd, just like Tim Cato on Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
National Tim alert. We appreciate you hanging out with us here on our pregame show. If you're going to watch tonight's game, you can do so on KFAA Channel 29 with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. We will have our postgame show about 10-12 minutes after the final buzzer, where our national NBA insider Mark Stein and our DLLS Mavs beat writer Ron Harrod Jr. will be joining us live from the AAC, which Ron does right now. He knows sports. You can find him on X at Ron Knows Sports. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, everybody.
I do have a quick question for you before we get into anything actually serious. What was with all of us wearing green tonight? I don't know if you noticed, like you, me, McMahon.
Definitely. Mike Curtis.
Mike Curtis.
Tanner's got, is that green?
No.
The jacket.
Yeah, his hoodie's always green. He's got the Baylor hoodie. Yeah, it's always green. I don't know what was with green tonight.
Oh, you just mean the people in the room. You mean the who's who?
Well, yeah,
we were all like wearing green.
The arena, you know.
Yeah.
If you know,
I don't
you
know
know
what was going on. So, anyway, any thoughts on that? It's just no. Okay.
I guess lucky for the Mavs. The Mavs are trying to, bounce back after, a little bit of a beat down in Oklahoma City. Green is a lucky color to some. And maybe this is for good luck for the Dallas Mavericks. Thank you. No, so Mavs fans, you can thank us in the comments.
I guess so.
Are the Mavs wearing green jerseys?
No, they are wearing their they're not calling it City Edition night. I forget what it said at the top of the marquee, but it's not Fit Night. League Fit Night is what they're calling it.
So they're just playing in suits?
They're playing in those, I believe those
like the black ones?
Yeah, the Pegasus City jerseys,
right,
but they're calling it League Fit Night is what they're calling it.
Okay.
Based off of what it appeared the marquee was for tonight. So more on that, I guess, or not. We'll see. Let's let you know who's in and who's out for tonight, starting with the visiting Houston Rockets. Steven Adams, he is out tonight with right ankle tendinopathy. Tari Eason, he continues to remain out with the right oblique strain. Longtime Dallas Maverick, Dorian Finney-Smith, out as he continues to recover from left ankle surgery.
Come back.
Alperen Sengun, he is out tonight with illness. Fred VanVleet, of course, remains out as he continues to recover from his right ACL tear. Meanwhile, for the Dallas Mavericks, it's a lengthy one. Dante Exum, of course, out for the season with the right knee injury. Cooper Flagg continues to remain available with that right thumb splint. Daniel Gafford, he is out once again with that right ankle injury management. No timetable on his return. Kyrie Irving, of course, remains out with the left ACL recovery. Derek Lively II, no timetable on his return either, as he remains out with the right foot injury management. Klay Thompson popped up on their injury report. Check this out. At 4 o'clock this afternoon with left knee soreness, and he is out tonight. So Klay Thompson will not be available for the Mavericks. But, Ron, the Mavericks do get back P.J. Washington Jr., who missed the last 4 games with the right ankle sprain after an errant basketball got loose, and he slipped and fell on it prior to the Clippers game, and he missed that game as well. But P.J. Washington is back and available tonight. Good to see him available. Ron, what did Jason Kidd have to say prior to tonight's game about
Tanner forgot.
I'm trying to do too much.
Yeah.
I was vamping for him. I was like, I'm gonna keep it going. Like, I'm gonna let it ride. He gonna eventually pick up what I'm putting down here in a second, and he did.
Yeah.
A little inside baseball there. What did Jason Kidd have to say prior to tonight's game?
Well, he said that PJ Washington was questionable and he would warm up to see if he can go. So by him being available, that means that he can go. Now, we don't know if that means it's a minute restriction. I would assume so, just based on how the Mavericks have treated these sort of injuries. I'm not sure if it's the 15 to 20 or if it's more the 25 to 28 or 24 to 28 kind of minutes restriction. We'll kind of just have to see kind of how close PJ Washington is to 100%. But yeah, the ball kind of getting under his foot, kind of taking him out for the last couple of games. Jada Kidd also just talked about, Amin Thompson. He's pretty giddy kind of talking about him. He thought his offense is starting to catch up to his defense. The original question was really just about, Cooper Flagg's young career. He's had to go against the Amin Thompsons and Asar and J-Dub last night and Chet and so many good defenders throughout the league. How was that, preparing him, just for like long-term success. But, Kidd kind of went on like a rant is about how good Amin Thompson has been. And if this is Flagg's second time seeing him and third time seeing a Thompson brother this season.
We do have the starting lineup for the Dallas Mavericks. Shout out to our guy Luke in the chat. Najee Marshall, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington is going to be in the starting lineup alongside Ryan Nembhard and Anthony Davis. So Marshall remaining in the starting lineup alongside PJ Washington, Cooper Flagg.
No Max
Christie in the lineup. Very interesting. I mean, which kind of makes sense, I guess, because with no Klay Thompson, you're going to need a little bit of shooting off the bench. So I guess
They could use some shooting in the starting lineup.
They could use some shooting in the starting lineup as well. So, yeah, Max Christie dropped out of the starting lineup. Najee Marshall, who's been playing well as of late, but it is interesting. In essence, you have one shooter on the floor, one credible shooter from the three-point line on the floor. PJ's okay. Nembhard, still figuring it out. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this with the starting lineup here, going with Najee Marshall and dropping Christie to the bench.
I don't like it. I think Max has played well. I think he should start.
Yeah.
I think that he, Najee's done a good job competing on defense this season, especially compared to last year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's been more effective there, but Max is still, giving effort every night. I don't know. I like Max in the starting 5.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that Ryan Nembhard's not a bad three-point shooter. I just want to see a little bit more volume from him. But it's very interesting, that, from a spacing the floor standpoint, not a lot of it in this particular starting lineup. That gets, I kind of messed up my whole player spotlight because I had Max Christie in it tonight. So we'll keep it on him, though, even though it looks like he'll be coming off the bench. He's been playing well as of late, obviously. In the first matchup against Houston, he had 17 points and 6 assists to go along with 3 of 6 from downtown. In fact, in his last 10 games, Christie's been playing well. 11 points per game over his last 10, shooting nearly 47% from 3 and over 50% from the field. So it looks like tonight, Ron, they will look for that production off the bench for Max Christie tonight.
Yeah. I kind of feel kind of how Bobby feels. I personally don't like I just don't like losing shooting. It's 2025. And I can see maybe trying to go big against a team that, is the best offensive rebounding team in the NBA and really one of the best offensive rebounding teams of the last decade. But they are out Sengun. They are out Steven Adams. Steven Adams is kind of the wheel that kind of makes the offensive rebounding chain go. So you didn't really have to force the big lineup because they aren't going to be able to play as big as they normally would be. Now the guards can crash. Jason Kidd, when I asked about the offensive rebounding, kind of what do you do? He kind of says in this NBA nowadays, everyone's trying to get as many rebounds as possible. So you're not just trying to leak out too early. He said, but one thing he brought up was that the guards rebound really well for the Houston Rockets. He brought up Jabari Smith, went on a whole tangent about him being basically the X factor of this team. He called Jabari Smith Jr. the Houston. I'm not even sure what to call him. Is he a guard? Is he a forward? He's 6'10". So you all make what you kind of want to say of Jabari Smith Jr. But him and Amin Thompson rebound the ball at a really, really high level. So maybe this is about just getting size into the lineup to just match size on size with Nimhart kind of being your only smaller player. But Max Christie is like, what is he, 6'6", 6'7"? So, I mean, he's not short. I guess he's skinnier, quote unquote, than a Najee Marshall. But we'll see if size can, negate the shooting deficiency.
Doesn't matter how big you are, dude. Thompson's gonna jump over you. And
Yeah,
Najee's
Thompson's
shorter than Jabari. I don't know. It's whatever.
Thompson's the most athletic person on the
Najee
floor
has been
tonight.
playing well though, so I can't really, I'm not gonna get too mad about it.
And to the point with PJ, I mean, he's averaging nearly 8 boards per game so far this year. So maybe Kid feels like the rebounding prowess of a PJ Washington is going to be big. I mean, he had double-digit rebounds in the game against Houston the first time around, but very curious to see how this goes tonight. The Houston starters include Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Clint Capella, Josh Okogie, and Amin Thompson will be the starting five for the Houston Rockets tonight. That gets us to our X Factors. Again, if you're watching tonight's game, you can do so on KFAA Channel 29 with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. at the American Airlines Center. We'll have our post-game show about 10, 12 minutes after the final buzzer. Our National NBA Center, Marcin, will be joining us on the program as well. X Factor number one. Bobby, I'll start with you on this one because the Mavericks got to find a way to keep the Rockets off the offensive glass. This is a Houston team number one in the NBA in offensive rebounding, collecting 16 boards per contest this season. Now, obviously, no Steven Adams, no Alperen Sengun. Jason Kidd talked about prior to the game how everyone crashes the glass. The Mavericks, who are short-handed in their own front court, going to need a lot of guys to go after the boards tonight to keep Houston off the glass here.
Yeah, I mean, Houston gets a lot of second chances, and it's not just the guys that are out. Thompson does, Eason does, but Eason is out. Jabari does. Really, whoever's around the rim can just reach up and go get it, or leave their feet and go get it. And Houston doesn't have a lot of shooting, but they do have a lot of tall guys, and so they overcome their deficiency with that. And they've also found some shooters lately too.
They have Reed Shepard alert. He's been playing a lot better as of late, starting to get more confidence in his particular game. Not unwilling to go stick his nose in there to go help rebound as well. Ron, I'll come to you for this second one here. The Mavs got to find a way to force the issue defensively against this Rockets team. Houston, ninth worst in the NBA, committing nearly 16 turnovers per contest. Interestingly enough, though, as good as the Mavericks defense has been this year, they're actually sixth worst in the NBA in forcing turnovers this season. So got to find a little bit of a way to force the issue against a team in Houston who is prone to turn over the basketball quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the last time that the Mavericks played the Rockets, Kevin Durant saw a lot of double teams, especially on the wing, on catching it out there. I wouldn't be surprised if a similar defensive strategy is used because you kind of have to make someone else beat you. Amin Thompson is an amazing player and probably maybe even a future Team USA guy. But at the end of the day, he's not a elite shot creator yet for himself. So you kind of have to force Amin Thompson to kind of create his own shots. And the other players are reliant on Amin and Durant. I mean, Josh Okogie and Clint Capella. And these kind of players are reliant on the other players to kind of make things shake. So if Durant really doesn't, if Durant's not having a good game, he's not creating his own shot, then you're going to start seeing a lot of the Reed Shepherd minutes and players like that come in the game because they are lacking shot creators. So, Mavs fans, and I know you all are getting used to it, but this might be another defensive slugfest.
How are you going after Kevin Durant tonight defensively?
I'm not double teaming him.
Gonna let him single cover. Who gets the first crack at him?
Yeah, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. He'll score on any of them. It doesn't matter. But I'm just not. He stands in the middle of the floor. Double teaming a guy in the middle of the floor was bad 20 years ago. It's even worse now. Like I would never ever do that.
I guess it's to our last X factor going into tonight's game. It's all about the offensive rebounding and second chance opportunities. You can't give up second chance opportunities to Houston. This is a team in the Rockets that are number 1 in the NBA in second chance points per game, getting nearly 19 second chance points per contest this season. So if you have a chance to clean up your possession by getting a defensive rebound, you need to do it if you're the Dallas Mavericks. If not, the Rockets will make you pay with second chance points and have been the best at it so far this year. So I'm looking at you, Anthony Davis.
Ron Harrod Jr.
No, AD. I'm looking at
Wait
AD.
a minute.
Who last night had a grand total of 2 points, and at one point had as many points as the three of us in this room before they were able to get him a bucket before he ultimately sat down. Expecting a big night, bounce back night from Anthony Davis tonight, Ron?
It kind of feel like it's coming. I mean, hopefully he's not pressing. That's kind of been my thought, kind of on the drive. The 3-hour drive, I guess, down, quote unquote. I was like, man, I wonder tomorrow, does Anthony Davis feel the pressure of not scoring a point into the fourth quarter? Like the post, I posted the video. It's been aggregated by so many different people because so many people are interested. Like, wow, Anthony Davis only scored 2 points. If I'm seeing that, I'm not saying he's seeing everything that I'm saying, but he's seeing something. He does read. He does see a lot of the videos. I just wouldn't be surprised if he just tries to make a point tonight. And I'm just going to be honest, Clint Capella couldn't guard him 10 years ago. He dang sure can't guard him now. So, I mean, if you can't get off against Clint, maybe they bring a similar coverage, but they have length, but it's not the same personnel as OKC. They can't cause the same problems. Clint's still okay as a defender, but he's not the Rockets Clint of past, if Mavs fans are thinking that.
This is the second time that Anthony Davis, as a Maverick, has played the Rockets inside the American Airlines Center. You remember the first time it happened?
I was there.
You were there?
I was there. It was a great first half. I had a nice story. Next thing you know, that story turned into a Max Christie story. So shout out Max Christie.
No. Shout out Max.
No, wait. No. I'm talking about in Dallas. This first time he played the Houston Rockets in a Mavericks uniform in Dallas.
He played the first half, correct? Only?
Yeah.
Kind of. That's why I had to turn into a Max Christie feature because there's nothing else to write about.
Yeah, he had the most dominant 2.5 quarters we've ever seen in our lives, and then everything else happened.
It's probably the best he's looked in Dallas. I don't want to be negative, but I mean, he was really. I mean, come on, man. He was getting people did not want to cheer. I was there. I went to the outside the arena thing. People literally were trying not to cheer. He was playing so well that he was starting to get a couple of cheers there. And I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be all NBA caliber and everyone's going to not move on, but they're like, okay, at least we got a guy. And then he goes down and it's been a world war since. So hopefully tonight he can go back to that form, but finish the game, of course.
Hopefully he can be here and stay here this time around. Ron, we appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you post game.
See you, everybody.
Bye, Ron.
We made it. We made it to the pregame show.
Sounds like something weird is going on outside.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on outside, but there's some.
You're about to walk out into that.
No, I'm not. I'm actually gonna stay here.
Oh no, you're no arena.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I haven't made dinner yet. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, it's warm in here too.
I wouldn't go out there right now.
Yeah, I'm not either. Something's going on outside.
Sounds like something is amiss.
I'm hungry. I need food from undisclosed location.
All right, we're gonna lose Tanner.
Yeah, we gotta let Tanner go get some food because we need him to produce later on.
I'll bring my laptop so I can produce StreamYard. If I get stuck,
I know.
If I get stuck out there,
Did you just get up? Okay, all right. Clearly, I just got left. So whatever's happening outside is clearly more important. That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. We will talk to you post game right here on DLLS Sports.
It's like a procession of people walking down the street. Very bizarre.
Bye.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.